Well, well, well. Here we are again, dorfing around. So we are we are live on the 15th of January 2022. I keep forgetting to say that. And we are, as always, having a little bit of dorfing around, just being our dorfy selves. So good morning to all of you. We're gonna try and beat the high score today. Let's see if we actually have our, there it is. Ooh, actually I have someone I want to let you know. There is a special person I would love to invite to this. Alright, there we go. Okay, folks, so, like I said, good morning to you. I hope that you're having a real good time so far. We're starting out with a... I didn't know you could turn that into a sideways. Yeah, let's sideways that. Let's see what happens. Okay, we're getting some houses here. Sideways the heck out of it. So it doesn't want to go that way. Okay. Just fine. Let's try this over here. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. That's a good start right there. It's a very good start. And then we want to put this right there. Lovely, lovely stuff. So I have very recently reconnected with a good friend of mine, who I haven't seen in quite some time, which it's always a pleasant surprise when you get to do that. Ooh, that's right, we gotta make sure that we have this one properly connected there. Ooh, we can connect it that way, good. Very good. And then get the 40 here. Good. And then let's start like a railroad yard around here somewhere. Maybe right here's a good spot. Let's try it right there. Kind of have it sideways a little bit. That one's a 15 plus. Okay. And then, ooh, that's a great one. That's a great one right there. I like that a lot. Look at this river. This river's already looking majestic. I'm real happy with it. Gotta keep an eye on things, though. Okay, good. Now, when it comes to old friends, it's really important that you give it some breathing space, you know. That's something that I have made the mistake of in the past, that you can't always just jump right back into a friendship, even if it is a very tempting and lovely idea. Because, you know, friendships, they come and go. And sometimes you don't have those friends with you, you know, forever or for as long as you'd wish. But that being said, there is always an opportunity to try and reconnect with somebody that you genuinely care about. Though my sister just recently had a problem with a rather ungentlemanly sort of person who was attempting to parlay with her for some kind of relationship which she was not interested in. And certainly I cannot say enough that I condemn trying to trick or give someone the concept of, you know, an idea like that without actually intending to be genuine or mature about the finished product, which I can only assume was the case here. Mind you, I don't have all of the clues pointing to that, but I've got a good nose for this sort of thing, as it turns out. This is a continual one. We should keep this for later. Good nose or not, though, I'm glad to be streaming for all of you today. So, I hope that you've all been doing well since last time. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a lovely one. For the most part, though, there's been a very strong vibe on the Discord for a lovely kind of, I would say, connection between some of our members. And it makes me quite happy to see people getting along. 34 plus, we can do that. For the most part, the people on the Discord seem to be having a good time, which is all I can ask for as well. Considering there is oftentimes a disproportion to the amount of enjoyment a person can find on a place like that. But I have been issuing to try and make the most wholesome Discord of all time for, it's been a little while. I don't know when exactly the Discord started. I think it was somewhere in the October of 2019-ish, because it was before that. Before it was a Discord for the ASMR stuff, it was actually a Discord devoted to me and a couple of friends trying to roleplay. And it's unfortunate that it did not meet that intention, but that's just the nature of Discords. Sometimes they succeed and sometimes they do not. But you know, that's the name of the game, unfortunately. It's not too bad, though. Man, we're doing real well. We're doing real well. Ooh, I should add Ray and let her know. I think she'd like to know. There we go. It's a nice one. People all the time. I'm just too perfect not to put that there. You know, it's too perfect. People all the time have issues of occupying a portion of maybe their ability to have friends or their ability to communicate properly with their surroundings. They have oftentimes a lot of problems with actually participating in a relationship beyond simply the avenue of like joining it and then from there not really knowing where to turn things. I've actually found this to be very true with myself alongside other parts of my lesser qualities. In the past, it's been very easy for me not to be able to actually see through things. And that's a demeanor that I would like to change very, very much so. For the most part, I mean, people want to improve, they want to flourish, and they want to find ways through whatever situation they might be in, good or bad. And it's oftentimes that the situation itself of them being stuck somewhere is very participant in their ability to succeed or not to succeed. Which, oh, Rissy, hello. I hope that you're doing well. I know you seem to be switching around a little bit when we spoke last. I don't actually know where I want to put this now. I'm not going to put that there as much as I intend to. I'm not going to do it. Well, howdy there as well, Playful. Glad to see you. Generally, though, when talking to somebody who is overly enthusiastic about joining a relationship, I find it's much better to err on the side of caution. This is not to say that people who are enthusiastic cannot be like trusted or something, but it turns to me in sort of an unideal way, I suppose, that people who have those ambitions, just dealing lately. Oh, here comes the music. I'm sorry you've been dealing, Rissy. I hope that you start to feel better soon. People that have these ideals and intentions and ambitions often find themselves having hungrier eyes than stomachs, I guess you could say. it's unfortunate. I mean, most people that I have spoken to and that I know about who want to be in relationships don't know the limits of their own ability to do so. It's sad, it's sad. Because I think everybody wants to, find their special someone and be in that lovely state of having a relationship and having things go well, right? I mean, that's just a human thing, not even a person thing. That's like a animal, everybody thing. Because everybody, no matter who you are, you want to be happy and you want to share your happiness. It's unfortunate, in my opinion, that some people don't have the capacity to share that happiness in a fruitful way. But what can you do? Some people, Kai Hope. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to see you, Kai. How are you doing? Glad you could join us. Very glad you could join us. It's been a while, but I'm glad you could make it. Let's see, where are we going next with this? I hope you're doing well, though. Generally, people that end up in this sort of position where they want to be in a relationship or they want something out of a relationship, but they don't know how to do that. Sometimes worse yet, they don't know the means and method by which to communicate the kind of really essential information to convey their intentions and their feelings. I'm not the master of this by any means, but I think intellectually, and beyond that as well, I would say, it's pretty important to give somebody the notice and the attention of like what you want to do, right? That's pretty important. And this is going well. This is going real well. It's parents are going through marriage counseling because of a thing that's just going on with your dad, so you're just dealing with it in your own way. Well, it's very respectable, and thank you so much for sharing that with everybody. That's a difficult thing in a challenging situation, but hopefully listening into the stream can do you a little bit good. I am glad that you decided to do that. I don't mind changing the subject, though, with that in mind. My parents probably should have separated a long time ago. I don't know. Marriage counseling, of course, is a great thing, and it should be done. But my dad has a severe problem with thinking he understands somebody's intentions better than they do, which is inherently an issue that people with autism face very commonly. And it occurs to me that he's in love with a person and trying to deal with it in their own way. Well, that's bordering on a little too much for the stream, but sex workers and people who do stuff like that, anyone could fall in love with anybody. And I hope that you don't feel any nastiness towards the profession or the person. I don't know the situation completely, but I think that anybody can love anybody, and I hope that the situation is able to be resolved amicably, though oftentimes I fear that that's a difficult thing to try and do. I still wish you and your family the best, though. This one wants a 8, and only an 8. Okay, so we can probably pull that this way. That's what I'm thinking of right now. I do hope that it turns out well for you, though, and your family. But yeah, my mother and father have never really seemed to have much affection for each other beyond the passe, blasé, and tokenness of somebody giving a gift on birthday, Mother's Day, or Valentine's Day. Beyond that, it kind of seemed as if it was just that it would be a tad much, but you know each other and personally think they're going to split up. Hey, my parents probably should have done that a long time ago, because they're, this wants a 2. It only wants a single house. Okay. My parents have not been happy. They've not been happy for a very, very long time. And it occurs to me quite often that they would be considerably happier if they were open and honest about what they feel and what they would like. However, both of them do not have the operation of their theory of mind to, oh, that's so beautiful, look at that little lily pads. They don't have the theory of how to do that properly in their tool set of things they can do. And gosh, that's tough. They just don't know how to make that work, and it's very sad to me that they have that problem, because I see my parents, less my father now than before, now that he's become sober, but I see my mother spiraling really often. You ask your mother if she has heard of polyamory, but she didn't want to share. Yeah, that's a touchy subject. It's a very touchy subject, because oftentimes people are very afraid to actually get involved in that sort of behavior. I mean, it's kind of a scary idea to share. In general, people have a problem with sharing, which is understandable, because most humans in the course of humanity have not shared much of anything if they could help it. But it does work for some people. Some people live very contented and happy lives sharing themselves and a piece of their love and romance with another person in their relationship. Plenty of people do that and are very happy. I don't know if that's something I'll ever do myself, but the concept of having polyamory in my life, Ollie, relationships need to start with a lot of trust. Sounds like trust is in short supply for her right now. Well, howdy there, Galaxia Nova. Glad you could join us. Yeah, it is important in any relationship, as you said, to fundamentally be aware of what's happening and to fundamentally trust the other people in the relationship to make good decisions and to be culpable for bad decisions that they make, which is inevitable. I mean, anybody can make a bad decision. I've made plenty. And if a person cannot be held accountable for that, and if a person is not interested in sharing, right, sharing their feelings, sharing their intentions, any of that, it's quite difficult to imagine a person wanting to parlay, some kind of equal agreement between them and maybe another person, however many you want to do, really. Poly stuff can go crazy. But that's really not easy to make that work if there's a lot of tied up, he said, she said, I want this, I want that. That can go out of hand so quick. People can so terribly have so many hang-ups and so much history of dysfunction that essentially it becomes kind of impossible to effectively navigate that realm of extremely bad, not just situation, but bad blood. Very bad blood. I would say my parents have extremely bad blood towards each other at the worst of times, and they tolerate and sort of vaguely, but you also have been sharing links with her about Parkinson's. Yeah, Parkinson's is pretty serious too. My parents, they tolerate each other, and sort of enjoy each other at the best of times, but there are times when they hate each other. They actually have ire and disgust for the other at times, as much as one of them or the other might not to admit that. Oh, there we go. It's a good one. It's sad because they married each other and they decided to stick it out, probably for me and my brother and sister, but that's a very bad decision as far as parenting and healthy lifestyle choices go. It's a very bad decision. It's incredibly urged that you avoid that sort of thing if you can. No, it's not going to help there. I don't know the most about Parkinson's, but from what I remember hearing about it, it does seem like it shares a lot of common threads with dementia, which has been a subject of a lot of discussion here on the stream in recent days and in the past as well. Ooh, we found one of the future boys, one of the long distance tiles. We're gonna go for that. Oh, the 60 tiles for the price of one. Or 60, I don't know what I'm talking about. 60 points for the price of one. There we go. That was a good one right there. So we're gonna add some green right here. And it's really, really important to allow like the natural occurrence of how relationships form and change and get better or get worse. I mean, these things, it just happens. People sometimes just fall out of love or decide that they're not happy or become unhappy for legitimate or illegitimate reasons, you know, in either direction. And people change. Not always, or maybe not usually, for the better, it seems. And, you know, you can't really do anything about that. You have to accept that people are the way they are for, you know, whatever the reason for that might be. They just are that way. And hey, look at that. I finished the loop. Wow. That is a perfect right there. That is. That's beautiful. People just are the way they are, and you can't force somebody to change for any reason. You can't make someone do that. Someone just is that way, and they will decide to change, and your relationship will change because of it, or they will decide that they don't want to be in a relationship anymore. It's sad. It's very sad. But, you know, that's not something that anybody can hope to affect in just their own wish of doing so. You have to let that take its course on its own. It's very sad though. We're kind of getting stuck in all these houses right here. I'm going to put this right here for the moment. What can we do with this? I don't know. I think this is going to have to go somewhere else for the moment. Gosh, I can't get this 3 out. I want a 3 that goes this way and connects right here so we can get both of them. Techniculo, how are you doing, buddy? Glad you could make it. We're talking about some heavy stuff, so if you're hoping for slightly more of a chill vibe, then this might not be the stream for you at the moment. But, you know, just take heed. When it comes to situations like, you know, mental or physical or not bad, it's the third tech. Hello there. I actually didn't. You changed your name. Yeah, that's the thing that threw me off. You know, people have. Oh, this is the 3 I'm looking for. People have changes all the time. You can't effectively force anybody. Oh, this isn't the 3 I'm looking for. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna have to say screw those ones. No, darn it. I can't. I can't say screw those yet. That would mess up so many of my little batches there. But yeah, I mean, if somebody wants to be a certain way, not much you can do. A friend of mine, her sister actually has Alzheimer's, and that's something that she's fighting with her at the moment to try and help. But it's a very sticky situation. It's very difficult to make any changes there without having a precipitous amount of money, which she does not have. And, you know, time does run out on those things. But hope's not lost, luckily. So we're actually going to get canceled soon if we're not careful. Let's see, we want this one. Oof, I feel like the cancellation is very imminent, isn't it? It's quite imminent. There we go. Saved it off for a few more seconds. Oh. And really, no matter what happens in a relationship or in like a fellowship of any kind, you have to keep trying until you're sure there's nothing else you can do. And it behooves people to give it their all, but oftentimes they don't want to. Laziness and avoidance will do that, though. Seems to be a really reoccurring theme in my family, is avoiding situations that displease you. Not much I can do about that, though. Oh, you know what? I just realized my mistake. I was spending so much time trying to get these that I actually wasted a lot of tokens I could have been putting there instead. Dwarf got me. I'll probably play another round just to try and... Not my best round of Dwarf, I have to admit. Lots of quests still on the board, and we didn't finish the superpower quest over here, which this is the oak tree, which I've never seen before. I don't know what this turns into either, but maybe we'll find out at some point. So save. We'll do one more game. Mostly, though... Oh, is this that's a beaver lodge. Lovely. Or beaver dam. Most of the time when people are in a relationship, though, they want something out of it. Of course, they want to live a better life, be happier, all those things. But that can get so tangled up and oh, we've just unlocked a new biome, lovely. That can get so tangled up and so backwards sometimes that you don't really know what you're doing anymore. And I've definitely been there. It's easy as well to feel very trapped in certain situations when you're just like trying to figure out who you are and what you want, and it can really easily feel like you are stuck somewhere, even when that's completely not true, because you can always just say, hey, I'm not enjoying this, or hey, let's stop this. Unless you're talking about the most extreme situations, you can always try to find something new. There we go. This is going well. Look at that. We're doing great, boys. We're doing real great. That's the good stuff right there. Darn sure. As a person I used to watch would say, darn sure. They only want 12. So this is going to be where we're doing this one, right here. Let's see. That would end it, so we're not doing that yet. That's a lovely connection. My family, though, has a history of not approaching situations that would be best if they approach them in a way that they can aspire to get the best effect from. And I don't know what side of my family that originates from, right? Whether it's something my father has or something my mother has. But I can clearly say to you, just right now, if you were in a relationship, you'd try to talk things out and communicate to hopefully fix issues, rather than just letting a thing fester and grow. I completely agree. If you have the ability to communicate, like if you can actually say things, like I know some people who have communication problems, which that's a different situation. But if you can actually speak, you have to try. If you care about it, you have to try. But not everyone can all the time, which is very sad. Dude, we're getting such good forest bumps right now. The forest bumps are crazy. Crazy as heck. So we want to end this one, like, almost immediately after we get it, okay? Okay. not going to worry about that right now. You struggle with speech, but if you say nothing, you will just make it worse. It's true. You can't perpetuate silence. You have to take a step, even if it's not always in the right direction, a step at all. A step to try and make things better. That is certainly more endearing and more acceptable and more beloved as an attempt of making things better, in my mind, than simply just sort of giving up, right? Which I've just seen so many relationships where both sides have given up and they're just kind of like, well, I'm just miserable and I will just always be that way. What can you do about it? You don't move forward by planting your feet and standing still. I think that's a pretty good way to say that. I feel it's pretty good. Is this the one? It is! That did it. And we got the flag bonus. What a lovely little thing that was. Very lovely. I'm not going to flag this. I'm not going to cap it off for a while, though. I want that flag bonus eventually, but I still want that big old thing of trees for now. Where else can I do that? Oh, there is room somewhere else. Cool. So, we have some big houses over here, some houses over here. Let's start this one. And unfortunately, some people don't see the nature of a decision being made poorly or a thought not being acted on appropriately. They don't see it until it's too late, right? They don't see it until they've already missed the opportunity. And I mean, I'm not completely... I aspire to not have this problem, but I totally have this problem, you know. I am totally guilty of that. This is a good one right here. I like that. So, I have learned it's actually a good idea to move outward if you can, because there are, this one right here, there's a hidden one right here. Build towards the spot to uncover a special tile. I don't know what manifests where those will be, but it is a very good thing to try and unlock those because they give you special bonuses, very special bonuses. You also are the type that will suppress and hide your emotions, but still. So that's natural. It's very natural to hide how you feel because the vulnerability, it's a tough thing. It's a tough break. And most people don't want to be vulnerable in that way unless it's important. Heck, I mean, I'm the same way. I had to tell the players of the D&D game that I'm in that I was procrastinating because of a medical issue. And that was tough for me because I like to imagine that those things don't affect me as much as they used to, but I'm still human after all. I mean, what can I do about that? Besides just accepting how you feel and talking about it with the people that will listen and that matter. You can't control if you have a problem and you know how it makes you feel. You can respond to it in whatever way is best for you, of course. But you can't be somebody else or pretend like it doesn't impact you or whatever that would really look like. It's super important to be honest. Just be honest. And to be fair, complete honesty is also very tough. It's also very tough to be completely honest. In all the relationships I've had, I have had multiple occasions where I was not capable of being completely honest as much as I might like to have been. Just because it's tough. It's tough to know when you're being not deceptive, but omitting a truth that you feel for the sake of ego or pride or whatever the reason could be. It's a tough rap. That's pretty good right there. I think I want this over here, I'll be honest with you. 436. Wow, we are getting some crazy forest ones recently. Crazy forests. And we'll cap this off one day and get like 10 at a time. That'll be super great. I'm a little worried about putting that there, so we'll try it right here in case we can use it for something else. There we go. I was worried about that. Okay, and now let's cap that off as soon as possible. Let's see, where does this go? You know what? Let's start something new over here just in case, because we don't want to clog that up too much. So this is the capping going right here. Cap that off. It's 10. Let's put this here and see what happens, because this might be something really important that we want to get to soon, rather than sooner rather than later. This is a water thing. Is that like a... Oh, it's a watermill. I've never seen a watermill before. Your relationships have failed, and you concluded. Why, though? You wonder if your conclusion is accurate. Yeah, it's kind of a tough situation to be in a state of having a lot of failures and a lot of difficult relationship problems to have faced and gone through. But this is just my opinion. It is a very powerful and strong thing to both continue forward despite that and to face the next challenge in whatever way that you can. Because yeah, I mean, getting broken up with, not on my list of things I like, I'll be honest with you, but you know now what doesn't work. And so the next time you run into that problem, you'll know that it's not going to work and you can do something about it, as opposed to maybe before you would have simply fallen victim to whatever was going to happen because of that. Certainly not a good thing, regardless of whatever circumstance that might be. So we're going to add our water tokens over here. We're going to try and link these up, I think. That would be a good idea. I mean, failure, right? Failing anything, that is just a step on the road to a success. Simply by knowing what doesn't work long enough, you can eventually decipher what will work and what you should do next. Doesn't make it any easier sometimes, though, right? It doesn't make it any easier to get broken up with. Your conclusion is self-depreciative and based only on your own analysis. Could be looking at it with the wrong perspective or just be wrong entirely. Well, I can't tell you that, but everyone's got problems, you know? The richest person in the world worries about losing their money. The poorest person in the world worries about not getting any. And that will, I'm guessing, for a very long time not change. Mostly because as humans we have a very, very difficult time being content with anything. That's natural, of course. I mean, not being content. Or not being grateful as well. I've been very ungrateful in my lifetime. But a medical professional in my life gave me very good advice, and it made me come to the perspective that I have now, which is you could be a deaf, quadriplegic, mute, and blind leper. You could be in a world of hurt. A world of hurt that you can't even fathom. And being able to see and hear and talk and think, just being human, it's a pretty big deal, because you could just not exist. Even though I never asked to exist. I mean, maybe it's worse not to. Even though you wouldn't feel pain, you don't know that you would be happy or happier off that way. And it's crazy, because, Everyone's trying to be happier. I'm trying to be happier. And it can feel a little bit hopeless sometimes, but certainly life is not about being happy all the time, as much as I might like it to be. Right now, we don't have that luxury, so we have to accept what we've got. And even if that means you have to take some knocks every now and again, it is better to experience tragedy and pain and helplessness than to not experience anything at all and sort of just not have any consciousness or not feel like you can do anything. I mean, people, whatever struggles they have, at least they're trying. At least they're surviving. Even if it sucks. That's just what I think, though, and I hope that life is a school of hard knocks. You disagree when the stress is constant? Well, of course. I don't want someone to be suffering 24/7, but suffering is something that we can understand, we can point to, we can look at, and we can say, yeah, that suffering is real and it exists. What we can't point to, though, is what happens after we don't exist anymore. So, I mean, unless a person has insight into that, knowing it's better, the alternative is better than that, and maybe they do personally, and that's their decision. But in my perspective, it's better to find what that means to you and find what it is you'd like. And if you decide what you'd like is to not experience that anymore because it's so horrific, then that's a person's choice. But personally, I believe there's no right answer to that. But I appreciate you saying so. Certainly, though, I don't want people to be experiencing arduous suffering for any extended period. But, it's a complex subject. Uh-oh, I'm starting to get canceled here by Dorf. Maybe it's time to cap these. So where are these right now that they're trying to be capped? You'd have missed out on some important things in 2021 if you had acted on certain plans. Well, I can only say that I'm glad you're here, regardless of whatever your plans might have been. It's good that you're here right now with us, and I hope that you continue to be with us for a little bit longer yet. Oh man, I'm getting canceled here in a minute. This Dorf is going to cancel the heck out of me. Dorf cancellations. Ooh, what did I do wrong? Oh man, if we have a 2, we can uncancel ourselves immediately, but we have 1. And then we need another 1 and we're good. You've gotten things to try and fix before you're ready to go anywhere. Yeah, it's important to me to have my... Hey, look, there it is. It's important to me to have my situation in order before I decided to make any big choices. There we go, we're uncanceled. But it's a luxury, and not everybody gets that chance. So I try to, when I am able to, let people know that there is a huge percentage of people that never get to do what they want to or say what they wanted to. And hopefully the people in their lives, know they care. Usually, if they're in good standing with them, then they know they care. But some people never get that opportunity. And if it passes you by and you miss it, me being the biggest one, well, I think that is bordering on, being self-deprecatory. You can't really fix, at least in the way that it sounds like you're saying, fix a person. A person, they just get better. They get better and they feel less sad, and the problem can, come very close to being fixed. But mental illness, I mean, I have relapses, and I've been in remission a long time. Good as new. Oh, sure. I shouldn't have assumed that. My bad. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's never going to be a situation where a bad thing is gone forever, but there are times when you can live such a long, healthy, prosperous, and joyous time and be free from certain turmoils and certain unhappinesses for so long that you even forget they existed ever in the first place. Oh no, we're gonna get canceled again. We want to close this up here pretty soon, because we can fix this off. Okay, close that loop. Okay. Close that loop. Okay. Oh man, we really want to save that. Oh no, I think this is it, folks. I think we're canceled. Unless we can close this off right now. No, we can't close it off right now. Oh no, I guess we could have closed this off, right? Did we have enough to do that? No, we didn't. Well, being this way is a part of who you are. Yeah, it is important to know that distinction for sure. The windmill, oh, true fan, lovely. Well, I didn't complete the water wheel. So what went wrong this time? Not taking the flags quick enough, and not focusing on the big mission of the big quest, the king quest. That's what went wrong this time. All right, folks, we've been streaming for almost an hour now. Thank you to Galaxy Nova, to Technicula, to Kai Hope, and to Nicole. Or Playful, excuse me, to Rissy, and to everybody else who is watching and enjoying the stream today. I hope that if you see this in the future, that this gives you a bit of insight, and I hope that the conversation didn't seem a little bit too morose for anybody. And if you'd like to, come and join us again later on in the day. It'll be about, let's see, about 5 hours from now, 5.5 hours. We will be starting our, thank you, Galaxia. We'll be starting our Saturday stream, and we'll be having a good time there. Probably going to be talking about good news, talking about things that matter. We may even play some more Dwarf, I'm not sure. But to all of you cool folks out there, thank you so much for joining me. Stay safe, have a lovely afternoon, and take care. As always, I'll see you next time. Let me get some good outro music here from Damian Cassio, my favorite. And whatever time that's for, yes. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks again. Bye-bye.